All right, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lotus Evolution. My name is Mari Abraham. Today's date is Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. Class 2, Grow Your Own Way. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to be in class together. If your body needs to move, let it. If emotions surface, the invitation is to allow them to. You are the river, your emotions are the fish. So let them swim through you. Acknowledge them and let them swim through. It can be all different sizes, shapes, and textures. And if at any point we're doing something in class that you're uncomfortable with or don't feel right about, you do not have to do it. Yes, no, maybe I changed my mind, are all welcome. Right? And cameras on or off, it's up to you. Happy to be here with all of you this morning. So we're going to begin with our warm up. Go ahead and start following your breath into your body. Always, for me, like to find that nostril point. Filling the skull with breath, expanding. Drawing more of your spirit into presence as you focus on your breath pouring into the body. And know that as it lands here in this sacred site that is your being, all the divinity that you are looking for resides already within you. Just turning on, turning yourself on. Intentional breathing is like greeting the day for the first time. So imagining now as we breathe into being, the sun rising within, the dawn of a new day opening inside. Perhaps it's coming from your heart or your mind or your belly or your toe. Just notice, where is the light beginning to open inside of me? Action follows intention. And as we breathe, more and more of that sun rises within, and we illuminate our aspects, our temples, and we need to work through the progression this morning into that temple of consciousness, unfolding the pineal gland, expanding through the sense perceptions. Notice the dome of the skull if it needs to move or breathe or expand. Wake up. The temple of the heart. The temple of the pelvis and the roots. Breathing into the light of the sun as it rises within you. Notice how the light touches those temples. How does it feel? What does it look like? What do you notice? And if the doors to your temples are closed, the invitation this morning is to open them up and let the sun burst out from the body and let the sun stream in from around you. And now access the breath, breathing sunlight in and breathing sunlight out. You begin to radiate that into the space around your body and being, your physical presence, your aura. Check in with the body scan now to flow through the spine. And the limbs across your shoulders, your arms, overflowing off the pelvis down the legs. And as we greet this new day, notice your environment, whether you're inside or outside, it does not matter. Breath transcends space, time, matter, and form. Breathe through the illusions of containment. And link into the sun rising for all life around you. And just in review from yesterday, go ahead now and sweep your temple, brighten anything up. You can bring in some flowers, you can bless it, you can anoint it, whatever it is. Always loved sweeping floors. So anything that needs to be swept out using breath and intention. Did a big clean out yesterday, so maybe there's some residual dust bunnies rolling around. Maybe there's some echoes. Throw open those windows. Nice. Here I am, world. Here I am. Here we are. Beautiful. So let's keep that gentle awakening and beautiful light streaming in and out as we breathe. Move as you need to move now, stretch as you need to stretch. It's our little review from yesterday. The cool thing about traveling in a pod when we do this work this week is, for me anyways, I feel parts of our team doing work throughout the day. Slight and subtle shifts, sometimes larger shifts in awareness, connection to greater humanity. So it's really, truly a gift to be with all of you in this journey this week. Mhm. Rise and shine. Okay. Now you might want your notepad for this. It's okay if you don't write notes down. I used to think I didn't need to, and then at the end of class, I'd be like, "What did she say? What was I supposed to?" So if you do want to write things down, go ahead. I always recommend pencil and paper above typing things into a device, old school like that. I still believe in phoning people and making gifts. And today for class two, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite abilities of our human body, which is our sense perceptions. And the sensorium or synesthesia is when our sense perceptions begin to weave together to create a greater whole system sense perception. So, when we've got our eyes blindfolded, all the other sense perceptions get a little bit stronger. If we've got our ears closed, we can maybe feel more of the environment around us. So the sense perceptions are linked in together. And sometimes we're taught that they're separate: eyes, ears, nose, mouth, right? Taste, sound, feeling. Intuition is a sense perception also. And often uh, people beginning their intuitive journeys will say things to me like, "I can't hear my allies. I can't." And I used to say, or I still say today, well, are you listening only with your ears? So sometimes being able to hear our messages comes from a feeling or a sense of knowing, or it can be from something we see or taste or experience. And what does it mean to hear with your heart? When I work with children, children are really good at this one. And we say, okay, go talk to the tree and where do you hear it speaking to you? And they often will say in the heart. So a lot of our natural world on this planet loves to communicate through the heart space. And in class one, we look at that triple temple of the body, the mind, the heart, the genitals, and they're all meant to be working together as one system. Oof. Just like our sense perceptions are designed to work together as one system. Synesthesia, when we can see what we hear, when we can taste what we smell, when we can feel what we see. And often we were we can dull our receptivity depending on what we've experienced in our life. Maybe we heard things we didn't want to hear. If there was a lot of yelling in the house, we can turn our eardrums off. Or if someone is constantly, "Oh," and then we're just like, "Oh yeah," and then boo. It's like putting energetic cotton balls in the ears, and then people start to lose their hearing, and they wonder why they're losing their hearing, just because they stopped listening, because they didn't want to listen anymore, because what they were hearing, they didn't want. It wasn't comfortable for them, or it was unsafe for them to hear those things. That happens with the eyes too, trauma and our sense perceptions, right? Seeing things we don't want to see. And so that can start to shift our ability to literally physically see, avoiding places or people with certain smells. All of this can be linked into memory in this lifetime and ancestral as well. So we're going to do a round of purifying our sensorium. And remember, everything we do in class, you're welcome to carry on doing as a tool or technique in your life continuously. And the sense perceptions are pathways for the divine to enter us. Pathways of presence to enter us. Pathways of presence. And so when we have our barriers and our blockages up in any of our sense perceptions, we become less conductive to the creation force of the universe. I think of those sense perceptions as currents or networks or systems of energy to move through us, right? Zoom, and if they're clear, then we can let that creation energy flow through us at a smoother transition, a faster pace. The more we cleanse and purify our sense perceptions and allow that flow, that current to move through us, the more conductive we become. And it's challenging because sometimes we don't want to feel the things that we're feeling, or we don't want to hear the things that we're hearing. And so, if you are one of those people who puts your head in the sand like an ostrich about certain things, this class is the invitation to get the head out of the sand. If you have blinders on for anything, if you are in denial about any aspect of your life or your past, today's class is the invitation to take the blinders off. Now remember that your breath on your spine, in your heart, is this, for me, the strongest tool we have. Unformatted, universal breathing that we link into our intention and become that superpower. So whatever you come into today, whatever you excavate in our journeys this morning, use your breath. If it becomes too overwhelming, just go back to breathing. Just go back to breathing. And I'm going to invite you today to start practicing with your eyes open. Sometimes we like to be in meditation, we have our eyes closed, which is a wonderful experience. And at the same time, we'd like to cultivate that level of inner peace and awareness with our eyes open so that we can move through the day and go to the gas station and go grocery shopping or work in the garden and still have that same level of presence and connection and awareness moving through us. So the invitation today is also to practice eyes closed, eyes open, eyes closed. Every now and then I'll say, open your eyes. And then weave what you're experiencing in the energetic realm into the physical one. I really want to bring that metaphysical energies into the third dimension. This is one of the tools we use to manifest creation, our ability to hold that in our physical bodies. Cool. All right. Exploration time. Remember, no right or wrong way. So breathing easy in the body. You might already have things surfacing, noticing what's already coming up. What do I have to unpack in my ears? What do I have to unpack in my eyes? Right? Breathing together, feeling into your own agency, claiming your temple as yours, the space around you. Yeah. Eyes open, eyes closed, eyes open, eyes closed. Breathing now, let's breathe into our ears. just notice what you can hear inside your body. And now practice hearing inside your body with your eyes open. You can swing between eyes open, eyes closed. So now you're already beginning to practice hearing inside the body. And if you open your eyes, you see kind of outside of your body. And so you're now in two places at once. But can you still hear what's happening inside your body? And now focus again on your hearing, sense perception of hearing, and ask, what can I hear 1 inch around my body? 1 inch around my body. Sound travels on vibrations, so you might be able to feel as a form of hearing your biodynamic field. Awesome. And notice what's happening to your skin. What's occurring at the layer of your skin as you focus on hearing the vibrations 1 inch around your body. Notice which areas of your body are asking for more attention, awareness. Notice if there's any missing spaces as you feel here around your body. And if there are, breathe into them. Yes, now practice eyes open. Try doing that with your eyes open. Your breath help you stay focused. And if you need to close your eyes again to get deeper in, you can, and then eyes open again. So really practicing the weave this morning. The more we practice this, the stronger we are becoming in self-mastery. So we can really listen to what's happening in and right around our body in any experience, any conversation. It really helps cultivate physical present awareness and mindfulness in our bodies, this particular practice. Because as soon as you hear, feel, sense what's happening inside and around, just that 1 inch, you can access your breath to support you where you need support or to amplify where you need to amplify. And the moving helps. The sounding and the moving helps. We might have programs that told us not to move around or make any sounds when we were a kid. Sit still, stop making noise. Clear those programs right now. You want to be able to have your intuitive body moving. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. You're moving towards your highest health and well-being. You're allowing the body to express, to move. You're breathing, not hiding anymore. Now I'm going to get you to hear, listen, feel right on the edge of that 1 inch space, right on the edge of that 1 inch space off your body. So a little bit of an interface that happens here off the biodynamic field into the rest of the environment. And stay strong on your breath here. And it depends what our life experience is in this moment. So let's all hold space for ourselves and each other. And acknowledge at any point in our life where we felt like we weren't allowed to be who we are. Sometimes we can have a little bit of fear or a little bit of nervous system sensorium experience right on this inch here, the way we interact and show ourselves in the world. Did we ever have to turn ourselves down or hide to keep the peace in our home? Were we ever a target or a scapegoat for someone else's shitty day? Is there anywhere inside of you in this moment that felt like it was your fault or programmed to believe that it was your fault just for being? That something is challenging in the home or in life in general? And just like we did yesterday, action follows intention. So we can set the intention now with our breath and the essence of creation, universal force, divine influence, whatever you want to call that. And start clearing, opening, breathing that living field 1 inch off the body. Give myself permission. I give myself permission to feel and connect again to the world around me in safety and in presence. I mean, if you're not in a safe environment right now, I recommend you move. Let's acknowledge the environment you're currently in. Are you safe here? Does your body feel safe here? And if it does, do this work, let it expand. Notice what's happening inside your body as we clear any programs, any containment, any eggshells. Yeah, clear them off, get them off there. Wow. Did you even know? And so perhaps these barriers have been in place for years since you were a child, or perhaps they came in with a relationship you were in 10 years ago, or. So just have an awareness without judgment, without pointing fingers, without blaming, just awareness, clear it off. Yes, I might not be living in that eggshell relationship anymore, but the memory of it, the echo of it is still there. So let's clear it off. Notice the day, still remember that warm up and the rising of the sun around you. So as you clear, if it gets scary all of a sudden, breathe in, feel the energy of the sun reaching towards you and link in from your inner sun to the outer sun. Build a bridge. Now we're building a bridge of awareness, felt sense, 360 degrees. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I am connected. In this moment, I am the power of the sun. I am a star in living presence. Now bring your awareness again to your ears and ask, what am I hearing 10 feet around my body? And now you're learning to hear in 360 degrees instead of just hearing left and right or hearing what you're seeing. Practice opening the ears 360 degrees. And remember, your ability to hear is embedded in every cell. Sound moves through vibration. What are you hearing? Inside to 10 feet away. And notice if you can see what you're hearing. Can you feel what you're hearing? Somewhere we can feel what we're hearing because sound is vibration and we're physical beings. And just for fun, let's practice hearing 10 feet below the body into the ground. Use your breath. Eyes open, eyes closed. There's a little bit of a password here in this range. It's not just Mari hearing, and you can replace my name with yours. There's also the divine hearing through me. So now see if you can feel the presence of creation, hearing and feeling what you're hearing and feeling. A pathway of presence. And now all of a sudden your sense perceptions take on a whole different texture. So acknowledge the texture. And we'll do one more here. Expand your hearing 360 degrees, 100 feet. 100 feet. See if you can at the same time stay inside the body and connected to that 1 inch around the body so that you're not as influenced by the 100-foot radius around your body and being. So no matter what's going on 100 feet around you in all directions, including underneath you, can you still hold a stabilized field? Yeah. There's a whole lot of layers of stimulus happening. We're going to play in this zone here from the core out to 100 feet. You can make your hearing sensorium smaller if you like. We do eventually be able to hear, sense, feel global planetary, which is really accessing our planetary body. But it can be overwhelming for the nervous system when you're just learning. So let's be mindful. But literally, we are feeling everything that's happening on the earth all the time anyways. Now we're just becoming physically aware of it and using our breath and presence to superconduct it and manifest reality creation. So on the spinal column now, breathing, let's breathe through our timeline in this life. If you've done this before, you can also expand into your ancestral realms. I know some of you are already experiencing ancestral shifts in your physical body through your bones. And in this lifetime, just acknowledge any moments, any echoes, any experiences from the inside of your body out to 100 feet. Anything that impacted your hearing, your seeing, your smelling, your tasting, and your feeling. any echoes, any imprints that caused you to dull your receptivity. Where did I dull my receptivity and why? Don't judge it, because often we dull our receptivity in order to survive or manage a particular experience. So don't judge that. Just acknowledge it. And same with your breath, like we did yesterday. Now we're cleaning this range, creating a loka, an energy center around our bodies, a sanctuary. Use your breath. If your body needs to move, let it. You might have memories of challenge or threat or violence or fear directed towards you or others. Increase the energy of the sunlight inside the body and being. Amplify that light within. Use your breath. And then radiate 360 degrees. These adverse experiences, when we dull our receptivity, they can go dark and turn into stagnant places in our current, in our field of current. We don't want to look at them. Things we are just don't want to deal with that. We throw it somewhere in our aura and it hangs out there. And then our ability to superconduct creation force is limited. And we're going for unlimited conducting here. So with as much courage and breath and light as you can, the light of 10,000 suns burning inside the temple that is your being. Illuminate. You might hear or see a memory. And in that hearing and seeing, your body might remember what that felt like. And you might experience a contraction in your nervous system, in your muscles. Use your breath. Support your body. Body, right now you are safe. Body, right now you have permission to let these echoes go. Remember, it's an echo. It's not happening right now. 360 degrees, clear your field. Now, thanks to the internet, we get to see and hear images from all around the world. And so let's do a round of cleansing and purifying our, what's that called? Technological aura. The things we're seeing, hearing, and feeling around the world through media consumption. So you don't have to, it's a strange one. It's a new system that our bodies are getting used to. There we go. And use the energy of your inner sun and the energy of the sun all around us to send light and healing and clearing to all those images and sounds and broadcasts. We're controlling what comes in and what comes out. And if we blindly allow that consumption of the world around us, whether it's through media or our physical environment, we want to be awake enough and sensual enough, because we're being impacted by those vibrations. We want to claim how that impacts us instead of letting it blindly impact us, right? Systems of power and control. Nope. Clear it. And that can feel really overwhelming. That level of global sensorium. So find that breath again onto the spine and into the heart space. Techno sweep. That's right. Techno sweep. Shh. And then just notice how that world may have impacted your mind, the temple of the mind, the temple of the heart, the temple of the genitals. I had a huge wave of sexual influence come through yesterday and how it's been so distorted as a form of power. And so let's also acknowledge all the layers in which that's still being used as a siphon. And let's get those siphons away from us, out of our bodies and beings. There you go. And the song Here Comes the Sun is starting to show up in our collective field. So let that sun rise and radiate. I see it. Eyes open, eyes closed, eyes open, eyes closed. And then just come back to personal experience. Let's come back to personal experience. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, skin, intuition, claiming and weaving together in wholeness my sensorium, my ability to be like a dolphin, to send messages, see, feel messages, our ability to communicate telepathically with one another in the space of the heart, in the space of intuition, from the crystal in the mind, and the pineal, and from the pulse of the earth through our rooting system, in which we are all linked into. So let's take a moment now and breathe down into our rooting system, into the pod that we're journeying with this week, and that collective root health that we're cultivating and drinking up that earth energy, healing and holding our bodies and beings, including all of our sense perceptions. And so again, one more round, we're just sweeping out the echoes and memories in our senses that have impacted our sensorium and the pathways of presence to enter us. It is not just Mari feeling, seeing, hearing, experiencing. It is also the divine experiencing through me. And so we enter that phase of practicing that master to show up as the divine and the human at the same time. So in this moment, claim that I am the master. It's an archetype to be human and divine at the same time. Back to that core line, central axis, illuminate. Take a couple of breaths. Let the ripples of the work we just did from the core out just ripple, ripple, ripple. 360 degrees, dissolve, purify, clarify, superconduct, superconduct. Okay. And we'll take another moment just to move, to stretch, to write any notes if you need to write any notes. If you have memories or things that are stickier than others, you can go back in and do layers and layers and layers of it. It's awesome to work that biodynamic field with you all this morning. That was great. And such a level of intelligence that runs an inch off the body in all directions. Ooh, it's really getting sun. Here it comes. It's coming up over the mountain, you guys. Woo! What a beautiful planet. What a beautiful planet. Thank you, sweet earth. Thank you, beautiful bodies. And now, after we did our techno sweep, I'm going to share a video with you Let me see here. Or should I do this every wave? How do I share my? There we go. All right. It's about 3 minutes and 39 seconds long. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this. Go, move it. There we go. Amazing science video.
Now, we've been considering a single torus here. One of the wonderful things about a torus is that it's open at the center. And being open at the center, it can connect with the entire universe. And that means another torus can be right here beside it. And center to center, there's no problem, torus to torus, to connect. So you and I, center to center, very distinct, different beings, but center to center, through consciousness, we intimately can connect. And that's the same, we can connect with the entire universe.
The human heart is now documented as the strongest generator of both electrical and magnetic fields in the body. Now, this is important because we've always been taught that the brain is where the action is. The brain has an electrical field, it does have a magnetic field, but they're relatively weak compared to the heart. The heart is about 100 times stronger electrically and up to 5,000 times stronger, 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. And the reason this is important is because the physical world as we know it is made of those two fields of energy, electrical and magnetic fields of energy, electromagnetic fields. Our own physics books now tell us if we can change either the magnetic field of an atom or the electrical field of the atom, by doing that, we literally change that atom. We change the stuff that our bodies in this world are made of. And it appears now that the human heart is designed to do both, to change both the electrical field and the magnetic field of our bodies and our world. And they do so in response to the emotions that we create between our heart and our brain.
These toroidal dynamics are visible at various scales. One of them is at the galactic level, which are huge spinning structures with billions of stars in it. Looks like typically big arms of galaxies spinning around, and they have vortices that goes from the center out to the edge of the galactic halo that surrounds them. Stars move from this galactic disk out to the halo, down the vortices, and back out again. Stars like Arcturus, for instance, we know have done that path already. That's the appropriate description even for the atmosphere of our planet. The weather goes from the North Pole down to the equator and then back up, from the South Pole up to the equator and then back down. Even the dynamics on the surface of the sun are very similar. Of course, here we're looking at it from an external perspective on a small scale model. When you look at the solar system, embedded in the galaxy, embedded in cluster, embedded in the supercluster, we're traveling in this boundless sea of infinite torus flow.
That's amazing. It's like the best song at the end there. So, how amazing is it to consider our electromagnetic physical being and the ways in which we can manipulate our environment and our reality through the level of intention that we're breathing into being? It shifts how open our heart is, how open our sense perceptions are, how we infuse that with our own heart space to create and change our physical reality, starting with our bodies first. the first sustainable shift happens with our physical bodies. I remember being an older teenager and wanting to end war and claim world peace. And I went out and did all sorts of things outside of myself as an activist. And then I learned very quickly through spontaneous awakening and allyship that world peace starts inside of ourselves. The only place it's sustainable is within us. And then we cultivate it and we use our breath and intention and electromagnetic field to create a state of world peace within us. And then with that, we begin to broadcast, because we're electromagnetic beings, we can broadcast the energy of world peace or inner peace into our environment. And because each one of us is an electromagnetic being, you will be able to receive and transmit the same frequency or resonant frequency of peace or peacefulness. And so when we're blocked and we have our barriers up, or we're feeling challenged, or we're in a state of victimhood, that's what we're cultivating and that's what we're broadcasting. And that's what we're sharing with other people. And so that's what is magnetized into presence. And so when we're happy, or when we're flowing, or when we're doing this level of presence, that's what we're broadcasting. And that's what other people are receiving from our being. And again, I'll just say it one more time. The sustainable frequency that you desire to create in this world starts inside of you. It's the only place that you can do it. And in doing so, you will shift the field. And the more of us, like there's 10 of us in the call this morning, 10 of us can bring an awareness to peacefulness. And even though we're all broadcasting it in a unique way, that's 10 spines, like a hub of energy, electromagnetic energy, that is amplifying the frequency of peace in the world. And then we can carry that 10 spinal columns worth of peacefulness where we go, because that's what we touched into this morning. Does that make sense? And so we learn to be larger electromagnetic broadcasters and receivers by choosing to clear our barriers, by choosing to create different intentions and amplify them with intensity. So the more powerful your emotion, the stronger the fish is that's what is swimming through you, the stronger that reactive space from the universe will attract it, will magnetize it. So if I'm feeling really angry, and I'm going to attract that same frequency, and I'm going to run into people who have that same resonant field. And if I'm really like, oh, la, 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 in the sun, and I'm going to meet people who are resonating, we attract each other to each other. Yes, thank you. That's right, Julie. So there's some cool things happening in the chat too. So that's, and then we find each other, that resonance. You know what it's like to go somewhere and be like, oh yeah, I know you. That's a resonance. At the same time, when we think about that polarity in the magnetic field, we can be resonating at this peacefulness. And then that's going to trigger something in the polarized space, and we might attract an energy in our experience of the opposite. And then how do we meet each other there? Like, oh, I'm resonating in such high peaceful frequency. And then this beast of a human without judgment comes and starts throwing shit at me, or threatening me, or being angry towards me. It can be challenging to choose to walk and broadcast higher frequencies of loving presence in the world. It's not the easy path, what we're choosing to do here, but it sure is fun, especially when we get to do it together. Great power attracts great power. truly does. And so that's why we work through the sensorium in this class too, is to really clear and be able to amplify, transmit, and change our reality creation codes in us first. And no one else is allowed to be on our spine or in our spine or in our hearts. This temple is ours. So we get to choose, regardless of what's happening around us, regardless of what's showing up. How can we master whatever that challenge could be? Whatever that relationship is, whatever that experience is, just by simply being on our spines and in our hearts. Oh my gosh, class 2. There's like 3 minutes left. I'm going to blast you with this. This is Stella. Hello, Stella. Hello, everybody. This is a medical grade model of the human spine. It's the feminine version. You'll see here the pelvic floor. La, la. Then like opening the anus to the sunlight first thing in the morning. That's really a great way to cleanse your root temple also. Just just an extra if you want to try that. Every bone in your spine contains information, ancestral information, lifetime information, embedded codes of our planetary history. Even pre-human history is embedded in your bones. In our bones. So we're going to spend the last 2 minutes of class today opening the spinal column using the energy of the torus, using the energy of the toroid field. We've been doing a lot of work here in the pineal and in the genital system, which is like stella-sized axis. And I'm going to invite you today to expand, right? So we've got, if we were using the chakra system, we've got like the 7th right about here, and then we've got the 8th kind of here-ish. There's a number of points that infinitely go this way. There's a number of docking stations that extend past the pelvic floor down through the earth and beyond. And there's actually, they go in all directions all over the place. I'm working the central axis today. So I'm going to invite you to expand your spinal column gently out of the body, but still please be in your body. So we're rising from the heart up above the head and rising down into the earth through the genitals, really expanding the spine. And take a moment and just set an intention. What is the frequency I want to breathe into being today? And your breath will bring it because it's the breath of the universe. There we go. And then just start using your breath now and breathing in through the nostrils and flooding that central axis with that frequency. And let's start with the skull today, actually imagining the skull now turning into a torus. Ooh. Sound, movement. And let that torus amplify the frequency you have chosen. Use your breath to spin it faster and stronger. Notice what's happening as you flood your temple of consciousness with this torus field. Really turn it on now. And let's start traveling down the spine from the occiput. Got 33 bones in the spine. Magic number. Use your breath now. Let's go down each bone. Torus field on each bone running down the spine. You may have a singular direction happening with that torus flow. So see if you can open a torus going in the other direction at the same time. Double toroid flow. Up and down, and they spiral together and self-generate a frequency. It's like a fusion technology embedded inside our spines, inside our breath, and in every cell of our being. Now merge the whole spinal column, expand about a foot above the head and a foot below the body. And increase your dynamic toroidal flow. Use your breath to amplify through the heart space, the heart being our biggest electromagnetic generator of the human body. Beautiful temple of the heart opens wide. We are generating, transmitting, and receiving 360 degrees. And just for fun, I know it's like 7:03 or something, just for fun, travel into your cellular structure. And imagine every cell in your body drinking in this frequency that you have chosen. Liquid plasma light of creation, force, universe, heart of all life. Thank you for this blessed day. And travel right through the cell into the mitochondria. Bless that mitochondria. Let's get them nice and strong and healthy. Mine are making sound effects. They're going gloomp, 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 gloomp. And amplify through the bone marrow. Now take a deep breath and travel right into your bone marrow, the place where we generate new cells. And let's send this frequency to the new cells being generated in our body so that we slowly emerge. We're going to cultivate a new body within us that begins to emerge as we shed, and the new body surfaces. Embed, transmit, heal that bone marrow, make it nice and strong, amplify. Beautiful. Radiate from the bone marrow out. I choose my frequency. I'm choosing my frequency. So regardless of the invisible electromagnetic fields that are constantly bombarding our physical being, through this work, we are no longer being controlled by them. Invisibly, we're claiming our own presence, place in the world. Many blessings. Deep bow to the explorations in this section of our map today. Deep bows of honor to each of you, to our collective sensory field, and to the combination of all the rays and frequencies that we're all creating together in this field. Thank you, blessed friends. And so it is.